Hello everyone, and welcome to another art video. In this episode, we will be focusing on my pack, Winding Rivers, and the packs who have branched off of it. We're going to be doing something a little different than the other two videos I have done. In this one, I'm going to focus more on storytelling instead of just highlighting traits, so buckle up, because it's a lot. Our story begins with Winnie, a she-wolf from the Stormy Nights pack. Her and her mate Blackie had 3 pups, Yukon, Dominic, and Mira. Mira dispersed from the Stormy Nights at the age of 2. Her ambitions set on starting her own pack, with a wolf who shared her same beliefs. Her journey took her to Amethyst Mountain, where she meets a gray and red wolf named Oz. The two hit it off, and for every hour spent together, they talked about a future with bright naiveness. They settled on the name Golden Hills, for the rolling hills of Amethyst Mountain shone with a gold light, just like the fur on Mira's back. Golden fur that would get its first taste from the fangs of rivals, stained red and matted over her wounds. Pinned down by the rivals' pack, there was no hope left for Oz, his green eyes wet with tears as he screamed for her to run. And run she did. Her cracked paw pads ached as she covered the chilled October ground. Oz's last words ringing in her ears, "Keep going." Weeks passed, and Mira found herself barely stirring from where she curled up under a lone evergreen. The smell of sap and needles reminding her of the soft dreams her and Oz once shared. Eventually the dull throb of hunger pushed her back into the hills. Hills that seemed duller than they used to be. Every hunt was met with failure, her body lacking the strength needed to feed herself. As she collapses onto the ground, snow begins falling, closing her eyes for only a few seconds before the sounds of approaching paws stir her out of her daze. A large wolf walks over to her, his coat like the night, his brown eyes carrying the strength of a bison. Ezekiel was his name, the wolf who dragged Mira back onto her paws. He fed her, yet his words were as cold as the snow under their feet. The following spring, 4 pups were born: Ezra, Levi, Ruth, and Mariah. They were so happy, so clueless to the world. During their days together, Mira often wondered what kind of hurt Ezekiel must have faced to be the way he is. Maybe his hurt was the excuse she needed to ignore the hurt he pushed onto his family. But excuses make way for the truth, and Mira could feel that ugly truth coming out in her tears, mixing with Ezekiel's blood in her fur. Mira had hoped her young pups wouldn't ever figure out the truth, but like a festering wound, Mariah caught on to the stench of her mother's secret. She cursed her family's name before she ran away. After losing Ruth to illness, Ezra and Levi dispersed, leaving Mira to wander alone for a whole year. She slipped in between Dominic's and Yukon's territories for any scraps they left for her. Where did she go wrong, she often wondered, and how could she possibly make it better? After leaving Slough Creek, she returns to Amethyst Mountain, where she meets Jordan. Quiet, gentle, too much like Oz. Mira resented him for it at first, tried driving him away multiple times, but he always showed back up, annoying and persistent, but oddly charming. Jordan follows her into Slough Creek come spring, where she welcomes her second litter. Mira and Jordan still have a bit of a rocky relationship. She's headstrong and strict, while Jordan is wary and sensitive. She yells at him each time he makes a mistake, especially ones that could get him killed. Jordan knows it's because she watched Oz die, but her biting remarks hurt nonetheless. But no matter what has happened between the two, they've always stuck together. Mira also outlives her brothers Yukon and Dominic, which was very hard on her. Mira has never interacted with any of the heirs of Gold Rush after Yukon dies. She knew Chinook took over, and that's probably the last thing she's heard. She has no idea that Charlie is now the heir, with the help of Peppina. As for Dominic's son, Castiel, she got word that he was driven out of Slough Creek. She doesn't know the story behind why. She just knows that Lost Creek is currently out of the park. Her neighbors are actually Ashkey and her son Jace. Jace had Mariah's problem as a young pup. Carefree, too loving, perhaps. Watching him catch mice for his sisters made something painful twist in Mira's chest. But Jace would watch Jordan nudge his mother's shoulder, and the pup would wonder what it all meant. He learned as he grew, and he watched as his parents left the park, leaving the Golden Hills pack in his paws. Like I mentioned with Mira, Jace neighbors her territory. They often share resources, and their packs have been on good terms ever since they've founded new ones for themselves. Alongside Mira is Ashkey, who is one of Yukon's pups, making him Jace's cousin. Similar in age, the two have a bit of a friendly rivalry going on. Both of their packs are on the smaller side, so in times of war with rival packs, Jace and Ashkey bring their families together to help each other out. During his time alone, he meets Nazanya, the beautiful silver wolf who helps him win a battle with other dispersals. It flustered him. After all, those males had the power. What did she think he could offer her? Regardless of how undeserving Jace felt, he and Nazanya stuck together. The following spring, they welcomed a litter of 6 pups, and their trials began. From starvation, injuries, and sickness, the small pack was battered to no end. 4 of their pups survived, including Asher, the heir to Golden Hills. A little information on Asher since he is not in this video. You'll find out why later. Asher's mate was Esther. They had a litter of 7 pups together, and things were going good for their little family, and for the Golden Hills pack. But during starvation season, a sickness swept through them, Esther included. Weakened, she stayed with their starving pups, leaving Asher to go off and find food on his own. He was distraught, losing each pup one by one, and cursing his weakened mate for getting sick in the first place. Instead of feeding them, he meets a she-wolf, and his folly would bring even more despair to his pack. Only Esther and their daughter Riva survived, both of them unaware of Asher's double life. Come winter, Esther lost her life in a hunt, and young Riva watched as her father instantly welcomed the new wolf into their lives, giving away his secret. Grief-stricken, Riva couldn't bear to stand by Asher's side any longer. At the time of this, Jace and Nazanya still lived in Slough Creek. She remembered hearing the stories about the two, and she ran away to find them. She does weeks later, and the two gladly let her join them. Riva still resides with the Sojourners pack to this day. Taking a break from the story just to say I really love how these two turned out. There's something so comforting about drawing brown wolves. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's one of my favorite colors. And then Nazanya's sort of Siamese snowy tiger look was very fun to draw. I'm really happy with these two. Yeah, and that's it for my favorite couple ever. We love very tired looking Jace and just sweet supportive Nazanya. Now let's move on to Mariah. The years Mariah was away from her family, she spent them getting stronger. Stronger for one reason. She'd make them pay for everything, for cursing the family, their very blood, to generations of anguish. Mira was hunted down first. She didn't even have time to react before her long-lost daughter collided into her. The right side of her face is met with Mariah's jaws, losing half her ear and that eye in one bite. Mariah let out an angered yelp when she felt teeth tear into her tail, the bones breaking beneath the pressure. She leaps off Mira and spins around, faced with Jordan, his hackles raised as Mira scrambles to stand at his side. Spitting out a mouthful of her mother's golden fur, Mariah turns and disappears into the night. Asher was her next victim. Unlike Mira, he didn't escape. His body later found by Jason Azania. Mira's father, Blackie, was also caught by Mariah, no match for her in his old age. Her mate, Liev, would also join the list of those killed by her, leaving her to raise her sons alone. She now resides in Hell Roaring, as far away from those who hurt her, and those she hurts in return. After the death of Asher, Golden Hills became no more. Jace later founds the Sojourners pack, while Mira and Jordan begin anew with Winding Rivers. Hopefully someday, the rivers will sweep away the curses that plague their family. So, Mariah's pack Kill Borne currently consists of her 3 sons and her uncle, Coyote, who is Mira's brother, which we're surprised he has not been killed off yet, which I don't believe he will be, because he's Mariah's only support. So, yeah, here's to Coyote in surviving. And that is the end of the art video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. And I will catch you in March for Dominic's pack, Lost Creek, which will be our final pack speed draw, which is kind of sad because I really like making these videos, but yeah, goodbye!